Just an unusual managerial decision in the late stages of that loss last night, and the Brewers let one slip away. They could have scored some runs, more than two. We'll get to all that coming up next here. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yeah, the Brewers were living on the edge again tonight with this offense. 3-2 losers in Kansas City. Just doing the math here. 3 times this year. They've lost 3 in a row. We'll see if they can keep that intact and bounce back Tuesday with a win. But until then, this game had a couple of storylines. We're going to get to that coming up next. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Get us on Google, Spotify, Apple. We're on all the major downloads. Hit us up on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Locked On Brewers. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode on Locked On Brewers. And, of course, Chuck Freeman, my Twitter account, FREIMUND. Like I said, 3-2 losers on Monday night. Lost the final 2 games in Chicago against the Cubs. Had a 2-0 lead here, and then a 3-run 7th shut the door, and the Brewers had no answers over the final couple innings. They kind of had some answers, but, couldn't come up with a clutch hit. Bizarre managerial move in the 8th inning. We're going to get to all that coming up here in a little bit. But the Brewers, 6 of 9 they lost, but we're going to go right to the double steal in the 8th inning. Now, the old baseball adage is you never make the third out. You never make the third out at third base. Now, especially in a game where you're down by a run, the tying run is on second. And I know there's another baseball adage. You always play for the win on the road. They were trying to get Contreras. They had runners at first and second. Chourio was at second. Contreras was at first. Double steal. Chourio got thrown out at third. I mean, Angel Hernandez was a third base ump, and no matter what, he was going to get thrown out. Honestly, he looked safe. So I have to believe that Angel Hernandez was in the replay booth too. He was in the replay booth, and he was the third base umpire. He was in 2 places at one time to make that call because he was safe at third, and he was safe on the replay. And Angel Hernandez will blow. So I'm blaming Angel Hernandez both because he had somehow control. Either that or Major League Baseball trying to protect this guy. God, we have some just awful umpires. There's 3 guys in particular. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I think you guys all know who the 3 guys are that, wow, it gets worse and worse with these guys. I don't know how they keep their jobs. But still, that said, he was safe. But the steal of third, why are we double stealing with Turang at the plate, first and second? Let's get the tie in. Let's get that tying run in. A base hit, Chourio scoring from second. Unless it's an infield single, he is scoring from second. And I'll take my chances from then on forward on that. But I do not like the double steal attempt at all. What is he doing? Now, Murph done a great job managing this team. Terrific. Made a lot of great decisions. But that one right there, I did not get. I don't care. Unless you're walking into third base. You should not be attempting to steal third base in that spot. I didn't understand the logic of it. Didn't understand the logic of it at all. Just bizarre. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, if I'm the Royals, I'm saying, oh, you're trying to steal third? Thank you. And he's gunned down. But he was safe, but out. Angel Hernandez probably said, you know what? What a dumb move. Why are they trying to steal third? Trying to catch me off guard over here? He's out either way. He is out either way. And that's how it went. So, and then the Brewers, 9th inning, Willie Adames, double play ball. Leadoff guy gets aboard, Adames double play ball. And just inept on offense. Bottom line is they only scored 2 runs. 2 runs. Blew a chance in the 8th. I don't know if Turang comes up with a base hit, but I'll take my chances. He's one of their best hitters. I'll take my chances. He's going to slap one in the outfield for a base hit. I'll take my chances with Turang right there. The pitch, I want to talk about Bryce Wilson. He was great. Again, another starter. I had been sitting here, like I've been saying, just wondering if the Brewers are how they're going to make it through this on paper, which looks to be just a brutal pitching staff. But they're making do. Bryce Wilson, man, do I owe that guy 1,000 apologies so far? Okay, he was great last year. Terrific out of the bullpen again. Yeah, did he give it early? He did give up a 3-run home run in the first weekend series against the Mets. But still, after that, pitched great. 6-inning start, a few 3-inning starts before this, getting him warmed up for the 6th inning. 6-inning start his last time out, great. And this one, 6 innings, 1 hit. And of course, how many pitches did he have? 89 pitches. Well, of course, you got to take a guy out at 89 pitches these days. And then they bring in Jared Koenig with a 2-0 lead, facing the lefties, and gives up a home run. Got ahead of the count, gave up a home run, walk, hits Batman, error, base hit, in any such order. And that was it right there. Jared Koenig showing a lot of confidence in him. They were perhaps too much. I would have liked to see Pagero come in right there. And I hate sometimes this righty-lefty matchup we always like to play. I don't always like to do that. I like to go with the better pitcher. And to me, I would have liked to have gone with Pagero to start the 7th inning. Instead, Koenig had to come in, and then Pagero ends up cleaning the mess up. But, again, here, that's what, going with the Jared Koenigs of the world, who's pitched okay. But I would rather go with the guy who's been pretty dependable for me. I can count on Pagero. But still, Bryce Wilson, 6 innings, 89 pitches, 6 strikeouts, 1 hit. What another great performance on him. Bryce Wilson, apology board. Man, he's coming through. He looks great out there. How come he hasn't been a starter all these years? I know it's been a handful of starts, but my God, he's looked terrific. And maybe when there's more videotape on him, that might change. But the early returns, God, how has this guy not been in the starting rotation? Okay, how come it's taking this long to find out that this guy can start? So anyway, the Brewers lose this game 3-2, and I'm disappointed. Again, another game. The rest got a 2-0 lead. Sanchez hits the early 2-run home run, grounds out to end the game around at first. I'm not going to blame him for that, but he hits just a booming home run earlier in the game for the Brewers' only offense, and they never tack on any more runs. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. This show is brought to you in part by LinkedIn. Are you struggling to close deals? Selling is tougher than ever out there. All you sales guys who listen to this podcast every day, try Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's a sales intelligence platform that helps the sales profession like you wouldn't believe effectively prospect and engage in high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance, which we're all trying to do out there. Increase that bottom line in sales. That Sales Navigator will help you target the right buyers, surface key signals, show you hidden allies that you might not even know about, and go after them. Fueled by LinkedIn's #1 1 billion member platform. Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with people that matter. LinkedIn has got it down with this Sales Navigator. 60-day free trial, linkedin.com/lockedon. Try it for 60 days. LinkedIn.com/lockedon. You got to put the locked on there for that 60-day trial. LinkedIn Sales Navigator will help you sell like a superstar. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part Locked On Podcast Network. You get us on Google, Spotify, Apple, all the major downloads. Also, you can get us on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. Get me on Twitter, but you can also get the show on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. And we're coming right back after this timeout. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. Chuck Freeman here. I'm sweating. It's cold outside, but I'm sweating. 2-0. I'm just, again, we're on our couch. We're on the floor of our living rooms, bedrooms, or whatever. Oh, please hold on to the 6th inning. And Bryce Wilson, who worked out of a jam in the 6th inning, 1st and 2nd, nobody out, gets the double play ball, strikes out Sal Perez, okay, strikes him out. And that's the end of the line for Bryce Wilson. 1 hit on the day, but the bullpen with Jared Koenig out there it takes one guy to ruin just a beautiful performance. Now, I don't know. I think if I'm the manager, Bryce Wilson pitches me a hell of a ball game. I'm thinking, wow, he goes out there and battles for 6 innings. I need to have Peguero because I'm going down my best. I'm not going down with lefty-righty matchups. Peguero can get any lefties or righties out. All right, I'm going my guns. I'm trying to win this. I'm trying to snap a 2-game skid. God bless Jared Koenig. And of course, I can say this now because he couldn't get out of his own way. Effectively walk, hit by pitch, got 1 out in there, and then a home run to start the inning. But still, I want to go down with Peguero in that situation. I did like the lineup tonight. I like Hoskins in that 3-hole. I think that was the first time this year that they put him in the 3-hole. But I'm okay with that. I'm going to take a lineup. Quick recap of the lineup here. When I look at this lineup, Ortiz in the 2-hole, Contreras leading off. I'm fine with that. Bryce Terang not starting. I want to see Bryce Terang in there against lefties, righties. I don't care. Put Bryce Terang out there. Hoskins in the 3-hole. I want him 3 or 4. Adames, I don't think he's budging for that 4th spot. Perkins in the 5th spot. He's took an over tonight. Again, his numbers are continuing to plunge. Frelick down in the order. He's only batting .248 these days. Chourio did have a hit in the 8th inning. I felt like until Chourio had his hit in the 8th inning, Brewers hadn't had a hit in days. Since this, probably since the Sanchez hit. Did he have any more hits in that game? There's walks and all that. No, I think Chourio's hit might have been the first one since the home run by Sanchez. All right. Anyway, Kevin Herget gets optioned up to the team, or gets up. They brought him up from AAA, 1-3 journeyman, ERA close to 6 down at Nashville. Junis moved to the 60-day IR. Just disappointing. They haven't really been able to use him. They were hoping to get him as a 3 starter when they got him. When he pitched at San Francisco, I thought that was okay pickup at the offseason. They've gotten nothing out of him because of injuries so far. 6 p.m. start tonight because there's rain moving into Kansas City, thunderstorms and all that I think are moving our way in Wisconsin. But they started early at 6 o'clock. They moved up the game time. Now, I don't know. I'd be pretty ticked off if the game was at 6:40 and all of a sudden in the middle of the day today, they find out, the game's moved up 40 minutes earlier. And then you get there in the 4th inning because you got to work or whatever, and you're planning at 6:40. But on the other hand, yes, kudos to Major League Baseball for making sure they got this game in and moving it up. But on the other hand, didn't give the fans of Kansas City much notice. If that would have been Milwaukee and I was a fan and I was planning on getting there 6:40 because I had to work till 6 o'clock and I got there late, missed 3 or 4 innings of the game, I paid good money for a seat, $100 or something for one of those box seats, I'd be mad. I would be mad if I was a Royals fan. Again, sometimes Major League Baseball, these franchises, these leagues, they just take the fan for granted. I would be royally mad. I get it, I guess, for moving it up to try to get the game in. Okay, but at the same time, there was fans out there who maybe couldn't get there at 6 o'clock for the game. Motivation. People have asked me, how come the Brewers weren't? People on Twitter asked me, how come the Brewers weren't more motivated to beat Council? That's not how this works. It's a business to these guys. They wouldn't be any more motivated. Now, if Council had gone to Chicago and called out some of the Brewer players by names and said, you suck, okay, that would be different. But Counsell didn't say anything bad about the players. And of course, Friday, when you saw the article in the Journal Sentinel, or Thursday might have been published, how the players feel about him going to Kansas City, they weren't going to badmouth him. They were going to say, oh, yeah, what's he doing leaving us? Because the players do the same thing. That's what the market is. You're trying to get the best possible deal. A lot of these guys don't care about the name across their jersey. They're trying to get the best possible deal. And you know what? If that guy comes out and says, yeah, we want to destroy Counsell this weekend because they left us. Well, what do you think of the odds when this guy is on the street looking for a job on the free agent market? Counsell looks at him, oh yeah, this guy badmouthed me when I was out the door in Chicago or out the door in Milwaukee. Am I going to bring him here? Heck no. Heck no. So nobody is about the badmouth Counsell. That's not how it works. And as it is, like I said, these players are looking out for the best possible deal for themselves. Counsell going to the Cubs. These guys, it doesn't matter. Sure, they missed playing for him and they like playing for Pat Murphy, but there was no extra motivation to beat Counsell. There wasn't, not at all. I hardly talked about him in my podcast this weekend about the Brewers facing him. You know, I think I mentioned something a little bit on the show that we'll have another shot at Greg a little bit later on in the season. But no, there's no extra motivation. They look at it. Counsell did what he did better for his family. Made $7-8 million. And you know what? I don't have any problem with either. I know some talk show hosts, my friend Bart Winkler, who I just texted with a little while ago. So I know he's got a problem with Counsell going to Chicago. I really don't, because at the end of the day, it's all about the Jimmies and the Joes. And you know what that is? That's the ball players. That's the ball players. You got to have ball players. You got to have talent. Don't tell me it's the coach, it's the manager or whatever. You got to have talent. You got to have ability. Sure, you know, a manager is going to make some decisions like tonight. Murphy, the decision he made the first time I got him, Murphy all season long. And then, you know, obviously Pagero, I guess. But still, Counsell could have made the same mistakes or whatever decisions. You know, those guys got to do what they feel like they do. It was obviously tonight Murphy felt it in his heart that he thought that he had to steal third base. That's what his belief in. That's what a coach's belief. That's their belief. You got to respect it. I don't understand it, but the bottom line is Counsell going to Chicago. I never had a problem with it. Never at all. If you want to go and better his family, you know, let him do it. Free enterprise. There's nobody who would not take that deal. In the business world, a lot of us would do the same thing. Go to a competitor. A lot of us have, if there's more money. Absolutely. In the sales industry, whatever. You know, so Counsell did what he had to do for his family. So no, there was no extra motivation. The Brewers should have taken 2 of 3. I'm reading my DM. The Brewers should have taken 2 of 3 this weekend, at least, because there was motivation to beat Counsell. No, not how it works. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Tell you what, motivation to play Monopoly Go. It's one of the brand new games on the that you can download, Monopoly Go. We all played Monopoly as a kid, as an adult. In Monopoly Go, you could team up with friends for timed tournaments. You work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. There's so much to get. Unique stickers. You trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes. Cool playing pieces to travel the boards with. Hilarious emojis. Pretty funny. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constant changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include unique mini games like digging for treasures. There's also new timed events that help you win big. Download it. It's got over 1 million downloads, 1.5 million. That's on Google Play, your app store. Monopoly Go. Monopoly Go it is. Just like the board game, but I think it is only better. Chuck Freeman here. We're coming right back on Locked On Brewers. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. Chuck Freeman, your host here on Locked On Brewers. Colin Ray on the hill. He has been really good. He's 3-0 this year, an ERA right around 3. I love the way he's been pitching. Another guy, starter, who, again, some of you like him. I didn't have high expectations, but he's earning my trust, going out there and battling and doing what he had. Pitched well in his last outing as well. Again, this starting staff, I can't say enough about what guys like him, Bryce Wilson, Joe Ross did in his last start last Friday in Chicago. What they're doing with guys like this, calling guys up from the minors, guys keeping the Brewers in games. Now, offensively on the other end, I can't figure it out. Maybe getting Yelich back in this lineup is going to do them some good. Maybe it will. But my gosh, Yelich has been out since April 12th, and I do feel like the offense has taken a dip because he's not there. But man, it's been a struggle. It has been a complete struggle. But I like Hoskins in that 3-hole today. Love, love, love that. All right, pretty much we covered it. The Brewers have lost 6 of 9. Hard to believe. They've lost 6 of their last 9 games. Still in first place. While the Cubs were losing when I got on to do this podcast, they were down 6-3 in the 9th. I assume they hung on loss. Yep, the Padres beat them at Wrigley 6-3. The Cardinals lost again tonight. And that was it for the NL Central. Brewers have another game with the Royals. Seth Lugo on the mound, the one-time Tampa Bay Ray for the Royals, 6:40. And then there's the afternoon game on Wednesday. And the Brewers will be back home for a weekend series with St. Louis beginning on Thursday. That's going to do it for Locked On Brewers. Get us on Google, Spotify, Apple. We're on all the major downloads. Wherever you download your podcast, go and find Locked On Brewers. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode. Also, hit us up on YouTube. Go to Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. I want to see if there's any late tweets. I did put something out there about the double steal. EJ says, yes, the runner was already in scoring position. I don't understand it. And, well, I'm not going to tell you what Ann wants, but we're not going to mention that at all. Somehow that's always been dropping in my instant, it wasn't happening a year ago on Twitter, but somehow it's always doing that right now. I get some weird messages. Yep, that's it. I'll just keep it at that. Yep, mistake there in the 8th inning. I don't know if the Brewers would have bounced back and won the game. Who knows? But at least give yourself a chance with Terang. I'd rather take my chances with Terang at the plate with a runner at second base and the game on the line instead with that guy trying to steal. I have nothing to gain really from getting my guy from second to third because I'm trying to tie the game there. And I get Contreras takes second. He should have been safe anyway. Nice job, Angel Hernandez. You did it again. Continue to just go out there and make baseball proud. There's a few of you guys out there in Major League Baseball, a few of you umpires. I don't know how you keep your jobs. In the instant replay crew, I mean, man, you've missed a lot of calls in a lot of different places. I saw the Mets game on Sunday. There was an instant replay and a game at a 10th inning, a bang play at first. Clearly was out. They ruled safe. So I don't know who's running the replay center these days, but like I said, maybe it was Angel Hernandez doing both jobs. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. So long, everydayers. You've been watching us on YouTube or any of the podcast downloads. Thank you very much, all you everydayers, for coming aboard with us, listening to us, and following Brewer Baseball here on Locked On Brewers.